and talking about agent provocateurs amongst them in the crowd, and asking the crowd to be vigilant, their supporters, and not to be drawn into anything untoward. So it's very orderly. People are sauntering about. It is hot in East London, and of course, people trying to find shade, but at the same time, others clamoring for a view right in front of the stage so that they can have the best view of Julius Malema when he gets out, where he will address the crowd in a rally in front of court.
What happens next, Sakina? There's an adjournment now. What are we planning for the rest of the day?
So after the adjournment, we are in the court's hands. We will hear what then happens, what Magistrate Toinette Olivier will have to say, and also whether these proceedings will conclude today, John, we are not sure of. We may have to come back. That possibility, of course, also exists. But as things stand right now, we are waiting to hear from the court what exactly the next order of business will be. That being said, the EFF have indicated that Malema will be appealing this conviction, and they will take it to the highest court, that is the Constitutional Court in Braamfontein, if need be.
And any indication of when the actual sentence might be handed down?
We have no idea. We are at the mercy of the court right now, John. And as we've had a few adjournments or in proceedings already today, not sure how far we're going to get. We don't know. It's all going to be up to a magistrate, Toinette Olivier, and that we'll have to all wait and see.
Let me bring in Professor Breakfast again. Prof, it's an election year with all of these appeals going forward. What does this mean for the EFF as a party?
Well, if the appeal is being instituted by the party, at least Julius Malema, I presume that will be out of prison, then that will give him. I don't think that it will curtail him from campaigning on behalf of the party. But I think the worst part of it is when maybe he's being sent to prison. Of course, I think after the appeal, there are many layers of courts of law until it reaches to the Constitutional Court, if it will go that way. But after that, then the party will have to abide by the final outcome. But in the meantime, I think because we are in the build-up to the local government elections, he's actually going to use this case to pitch a particular message to his supporters that is being victimized. There's an onslaught against him. This is politically inspired. He has not done anything wrong, blah, 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 and this and that. So he's going to use the same approach that we have seen from former President Zuma, of playing a victim that is being pursued politically.
There's also been an attack on the judge itself, not necessarily the judiciary as a whole, but on this judge as well. Is that the beginning of these attacks?
I'm not taken aback by that. I'll tell you why. Because there was a fallout between the two. Remember, Malema, I think, broke ranks and said that, the judge comes late, but he's always there on time. I don't want to make a strong link between that fallout and the judgment, but I know there is some kind of a bad blood between them.
We're going to leave it there. Professor Breakfast, thank you very much. Professor Nsekilelo Breakfast from the Centre for Security, Peace and Conflict Resolution at the Nelson Mandela Bay University. You also heard Sakina Kimwendo live from East London in the Eastern Cape and getting us updates on the Julius Malema case and the pre-sentencing trial. We'll keep you updated with that if anything happens between now and 1 o'clock.
Update at noon, midday to 1 p.m.
21 minutes past 12. The ANC NEC Lekgotla is expected to operationalize the 6 priorities that were outlined in the January 8 statement into a plan of action. Party representatives from all 9 provinces will attend the Lekgotla together with members who are deployed as ministers, deputy ministers, premiers and executive mayors. Saturday to Monday gatherings, a crucial one due to the upcoming local government elections, will develop a policy program for the ANC and the government. Senior political reporter Busi Bopela has more.
The ANC's first NEC Lekgotla for the year is viewed as an important one for the party. So much so, the man at the helm of the organization did not attend the World Economic Forum, President Cyril Ramaphosa.
I didn't go to Davos because we're preparing for the ANC Lekgotla, the Cabinet Lekgotla, and SONA. So all those tasks are quite engaging. And after that, we go to the African Union. So it's a multiplicity of things. We need to bed down exactly what we need to be doing this year.
Fixing local government and improving basic services, speeding up economic transformation, inclusive growth, and job creation feature high on the agenda. Winning the war against crime and corruption, building a South Africa that belongs to all through national dialogue, and making organizational renewal irreversible will also take center stage. ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula.
2 billion of municipal infrastructure grant has returned back, and their potholes. Where is the bottleneck? What are the challenges? So those are the things we're going to address, and therefore fixing local government, the economy. If you look at the poor provinces and so on, and the industrialization program in our manifesto, how far have we gone in implementing it to create more industries and jobs? We've got offshoots that are positive about our economy. How do we build on that?
Political analyst Beki Mngomezulu believes that if the ANC is to turn its electoral fortunes around, it needs to take the oft-repeated mantra of renewal seriously.
At the moment, what we see is what I normally refer to as state authenticity, whereby the party makes us believe that it is busy with the renewal agenda, but we don't see something of substance happening. If anything, you will hear leaders basically contradicting one another, something that is not part of the renewal agenda. So what would have happened then under normal circumstances will be to build this car from scratch, starting from the branches, going to the regions, going to the provinces, and then eventually going to the national agenda of the organization. So basically for me, that is what would have worked, because if the party were to do that and then be a unified force, then it would mean that starting with the upcoming local government election, the party will demonstrate that indeed its renewal agenda is bearing fruits, in which case then it will regain the support that it has lost.
Unlike in previous times when the ANC enjoyed majority support, and the ANC and Lekgotla outcomes served as a blueprint of what could be expected in government. This time around, all GNU partners are expected to come up with an action plan for 2026.
That was Busi Bopela reporting.
John Gerika on SAFM.
25 minutes past 12. Reminder that you can always get hold of us. You got the numbers, your WhatsApp numbers. You can get us the telephone numbers as well. We're going to get an update on Mozambique in a moment. And also this memorial that I was telling you about as well. Scores of mourners are gathered at the Salto Tetsi Sports Ground Hall in Sebokeng. It's a mass memorial honouring the 14 learners who tragically lost their lives in the Scholar Transport accident in Funnabell Park earlier on this week. Later on, we got some business. We're going to get an update from Davos as well, and we're going to finish off with a coalface. The South Africa's Rand refinery this week entered a new gold partnership with the government of Ghana, so that's something we're going to focus on. You're with SAFM. I'm John Gerika in for Sakina.
Update at noon, midday to 1 p.m.
Let's go to flooding now. You remember the massive rains in Limpopo and Mpumalanga. It has to drain out somewhere. It goes through Mozambique, and 600,000 people in southern Mozambique have been affected by the flooding, triggering new displacement there. 100 people have died in what could be the worst floods in decades. Many more people are missing. The South African Air Force crews have rescued 479 people from flood-stricken areas in that country. Let's talk to Milton Masie, who is a journalist in Mozambique. Milton, good afternoon to you. Thank you very much for joining us.
You're welcome.
Worst floods in years, as I said, 600,000 people. Have you got the latest details on how many people are still missing?
Come again?
Have you got details on how many people are still reported missing?
let me do it quickly. I was on the move as I said, but I'm checking it right now because I wanted the latest updates.
Okay. How bad is the situation in Mozambique?
Uh, all right, okay. There is 4,000 people who actually need to be rescued in the areas whereby they are actually. The interview started already, or we are still
Yes, no,
offline?
we're on. You're live on the air. Here we go, Milton.
I'm live. All right. Good afternoon to listeners of SFM, and good afternoon to you. Actually, answering your question, I will say that from the latest report that was actually issued this morning, in 15 minutes ago, it's confirmed that 4,000 people they need to be rescued in the areas whereby the floods hit the most in the country, according to the spokesperson of the Institute for Management of Disasters, Paulo Tomás, saying that those are in the districts of Magude, Manisa, Shokwe, and the Gija in the province of Maputo, and also in the Gaza province.
What response has there been from the Mozambican government?
The response has been actually going well, because according to the Institute of Management of Disasters, they actually last week they said that they had the plan, the contingent plan, already ready from the 11th of January, because they knew that this will happen. And then the response actually started by issuing alerts, and also sending boats, even hiring helicopters from South Africa, some of them, to rescue people from the areas whereby people are in need of help. And also they are now helping with the population of Mozambique also is helping others by providing shelter, food, and other goods. And for now, I've seen ministers being deployed to those areas whereby they are most affected. And the president also, he came from Qatar straight, actually the people, and we saw also the second runner from the last elections, Venancio Mondlane, also doing the same. And we had actually even in situations whereby the all political parties, they actually forgot about their colors, and together they went to the field to help people in need due to these heavy rains. Yes, due to these heavy rains.
I've got to go to news headlines, but Mozambique's entering a cyclone season now as well. Is there even more risk of more water falling on the country?
Yes, there is, because we are in closer to the ocean, and a lot of countries are the hinterland. So what happened is all the rivers, all the water coming down from those countries are come into to Mozambique. We would from this week we're not having rains, but because of the water that is coming from the neighboring countries, we are experiencing floods right now. So which means that this will be a critical time, especially in this raining season that started in October, that from January, February, and March, they actually hit the most the country, and also will experience cyclones as well, because it's this time whereby it happens. So we are waiting now to see how it goes, but these are the most difficult times every year in Mozambique.
Mozambican journalist Milton Masinga, thank you very much. It's 29 minutes to 1, time for news headlines.
Thank you, John. On the news headlines, the Constitutional Court has found that the extradition of Murwaji Chalota, the former personal assistant to Ace Magashule, was unlawful. The pre-sentencing hearing into the EFF leader Julius Malema have started at the East London Regional Court. Social workers are delivering a mitigation of sentence report into Malema's character, ranging from his upbringing to his current political career. And it's quite quiet at the Ndabangulu Primary School in Ndabangulu in the Eastern Cape following a shooting incident that left 3 female educators dead. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Economic news on SAFM. Facts and figures you can count on.
And let's get the latest with Victor Mapunga, Head of Research at Old Mutual Wealth Private Clients. Victor, I know you're probably keeping an eye on everything, but this gold price is something else.
Hi, John. Yeah, no, I think we've had a very eventful start to the markets this year. It's been 3 weeks, but it certainly feels like it's been 3 months. Yeah, I mean, I think the big driver that we're seeing in our markets, not only today, but I mean, we've seen it this week and we also saw, or rather this year, we also saw it last year, has been the gold price. If we look at our all-share index at the moment, it's about 121,900, up about 5% for the month. But when you start looking at the underlying sectors within the market, that's when you realize that the only game in town has certainly been resources, which are up 5% or so over the last week. But when you look at financials, they're up just 1%. You look at industrials, they're actually down over that period. And as you pointed out right at the start, John, the real driver behind that has been the precious metals. So you mentioned gold, which is just over 4,900, less than 2% away from that psychological 5,000 level. But if you look at what's happening in the other precious metals, your platinum, your silver, they've followed suit. In fact, they've actually performed better than gold, over the last year and over the last week. The big driver, in terms of that gold price and the precious metal has obviously been the developments that have been happening in Davos. The call it a conflict or a war of words about Greenland. Where Trump earlier in the week or late last week kind of highlighted the fact that he was considering taking over Greenland. Some of those concerns were allayed during the course of this week when he mentioned that they've reached some framework to be able to resolve that issue. But the interesting thing is that a lot of the precious metals, they've continued to be resilient despite some of those concerns being allayed. We've also seen a weak US dollar over that period, which when you combine the two, sort of strong precious metals, a weak dollar, that bodes very well for the rand, which we see at the moment trading at about 16 to the US dollar. One has to go back to 2022 to see the last time that the rand was trading at this level. And I think the big question will be, are we going to breach that 16 level with the dollar? And I think that's something to watch closely over the next few days, or even perhaps the next few trading hours, John.
Victor Mapunga, thank you very much. Head of Research at Old Mutual Wealth Private Clients.
Update at noon, midday to 1 p.m.
Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana says the resolutions and decisions contained at the G20 Johannesburg declarations extend beyond South Africa's presidency. Godongwana told a media briefing at the World Economic Forum in Davos in Switzerland that that's what he said at this forum in Davos. Gloria Sefako Musi has more details on that as well. South Africa's influence on the G20 issues will continue despite being blocked from all G20 participation under the United States presidency this year. We're hoping to speak to the minister in just a moment live from Davos and get an update on exactly what he was talking about, how those South African influence will continue into the years that come. We might be able to play some voice notes as well. Don't forget, you can send us voice notes and you can get hold of us on the phone number as well, 086 000 2032. Don't forget as well that we will be taking more details on the memorial for those 14 kids. Let's talk to the Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana. The resolutions, as I said, decisions contained in the D20 Johannesburg declarations extend beyond South Africa's presidency. Minister, thank you very much for joining us. Your overall assessment so far of the gathering of the World Economic Forum?
No, the World Economic Forum is normally standard, so there are two issues here. there are side events which are very educative and people normally attend them. And parallel to that, there's in networking with various stakeholders from different countries. In that sense, we've been able to market the country in this regard.
The big news coming out of from Davos is what President Trump has been saying. What's the South African delegation receiving from these remarks, including an off-the-cuff remark about the white genocide from President Trump?
Look, we can't be. I mean, most of what President Trump was talking about were, to be honest, nothing to do with South Africa. He was talking about a number of things, including his board and other things, Greenland and so on. All of those things really have got to do with his European colleagues, not with us. We can't comment on a question that was just off the cuff asked by a journalist. As far as we're concerned, we know the whole world knows that South Africa is a country who's anchored into a constitutional society with enshrined human rights. So there's no way that South Africa would have a genocide, but we're not going to be spending most of our time debating that issue.
It's been spoken about with Trump and the MAGA movement making America great again. It's given an opportunity for South Africa to look at alternative partners. What sort of success have you had talking to your international counterparts at Davos?
Look, South Africa is well regarded in throughout the world, and therefore our interaction with the rest of the world is normal, and we're talking investment, and we're talking other areas of cooperation in Davos, and that is being successful. By the way, even the American corporations continue to operate in South Africa as normal. As you can see, even Walmart has just moved to South Africa. So there's nothing from an investment front which is affected by whatever Trump has said.
How important and how was South Africa received after hosting the G20 summit?
I think most countries are very positive about the success, our G20 success story. And it's talk of town. Most of the countries that we've met, whether it's the global financial institutions such as IMF and the World Bank, the various countries, some of them, including the G7, I had a meeting with my counterpart from Canada, still talking about our G20. So that's the story which the whole world is saying it was a success story.
South Africa will be involved in hosting WEF events soon. What does that mean for the country?
Again, I mean, most of these events, they profile the country, put the country in a better light with the whole of the rest of the world. Because once you hold these events, people think that you are, in fact, a better place even for investment and destination, even for tourism. So we are expecting to use that opportunity again to put South Africa in a better light.
Does it give us, when I say us, South Africa and the continent, more of a voice, more of a loudspeaker like we used for G20 for the world's financial leaders?
Yes, of course. Mind you, given that it's going to be on the African continent, there will be at least a large number of African leaders who will attend, and which will help them to profile and give the African continent a better voice.
And Minister, budget presentations, a couple of weeks away from now? You got any secrets there that you can tell us so far?
Budget presentation, as you are aware, as from Sunday, I'll be what is called a closed period. Will not be commenting on the substance of the budget for the 2026-27 financial year. But all I'm saying is we definitely presenting on the 25th. There's no doubt about that.
Is it going to be good news? Just good news, please, Minister.
It's difficult to say because the budget is good news depending where you sit.
All right, we have to leave it there. Thank you very much, Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana, who is in Switzerland. Is at the World Economic Forum in Davos, giving us an update on exactly how South Africa has been received there.
Update at noon, midday to 1 p.m.
John Gerika, hi. I wow this JCK counter from Sina. Hey, John Vulligate. This court proceedings here, Julius Malema. It's do or die for Julius Malema. But what I foresee is a fine and a suspension, maybe of 10 years or 5 years. Yeah, the CIC has got a support, and that support, it's intimidating the magistrate. Let me rest my case for now. Have a lekker na week en 'n veilige een. JCK counter from Sina.
Good afternoon. This is how we're gonna see the law of South Africa is equal to everybody, whether you are a politician or not, or an ordinary person like me. If the law doesn't work, we will see when Julius doesn't go to jail. But if it was an ordinary man who discharged firearm, he should be in jail doing second year sentence. Let's wait and see how the constitution works. I hope he won't play race card as black South Africans must go to jail, must go to jail. Jail is made for blacks. That's why I've been Bloemfontein.
Hi, John. Malema's case clearly seemed to be color-coded. You see, Malema stood trial with an accomplice, a white man. A white magistrate found Malema guilty and the accomplice not guilty. Now, we saw the similar situation when it came to ex-President Zuma. You know, he was jailed because he wasn't unable to attend court. Now, if you look at, our leaders, our aspirant future leaders, they are now being prosecuted. So I just want to know whether this is justice or is this punishment for being a political leader.
Afternoon, John. My friend who is in Eastern Cape is saying that lots of schools that are not used in Eastern Cape, beautiful schools that are vandalized, the government doesn't plan. Regarding corruption in South Africa, it will never end. People are doing what they like. That's why they're taking a law in their hands. They know that people in correctional service are treated very well. And she also told me that there are shortages of beds in hospitals. Pregnant people are sleeping in chairs. Thank you, John.
John Gerika on SAFM.
Okay, let's go to this memorial story, and it's a really, really sad story. It seems like it's ages ago that this happened, but scores of mourners gathering at the Soltsotsetse Sports Ground Hall in Sebokeng. There's a mass memorial service honouring the 14 learners who passed away on Monday's Scholar Patrol accident in Vanderbijl Park. The students died when their minibus taxi collided with a truck in a crash that has shocked the country. Gauteng Premier Panyaza Sufi, members of the Provincial Executive Council and grieving families are amongst those in attendance. The incident has reignited serious concerns over safety in private scholar transport sector. The driver of the vehicle remains in custody. Tabiso Khadebe was there this afternoon. Tabiso, it must be horrific to be there and seeing all the parents grieving.
Yes, John. Good afternoon. Good afternoon to your listener at home. On Monday, still it was very horrific to see those parents crying for their children. Even today, some of the parents or rather families are overwhelmed. This atmosphere, it's not very good for them. Listening to those speeches, listening to those gospel music. But the tent here, they are using a marquee here at the sports complex. It's filled to capacity. Some people are standing outside listening to those speeches, supporting the families who have lost their loved ones.
What sort of mood is there towards the driver?
Yes, yesterday we attended a court case, John. You could see him that he was regretting whatever that has happened because he was staying away from cameras. Even the people that you are speaking to at this particular event, they are saying that there must be accountability between the driver and also the owner of that particular vehicle. Because you will recall, John, yesterday we got a report from the National Prosecuting Authority to say that the vehicle didn't have a permit to operate. The driver did not have a PDP to drive the children to school. So you could hear from these people. They say that they want answers from this particular, the owner and also the driver of that particular minibus taxi.
Prominent politicians are there. One of them, Premier Panyaza Lesufi. What's expected from him?
He's expected today, this afternoon, to give out the speech, especially as the premier of the province. But the two people, the prominent people I saw is the two mayors, Emfuleni municipality and also Midval municipality, is only the two people that I've seen in this particular event. So we're expecting the premier later on, as the first citizen of the province, to come and give condolences, give his last respect to these families who are mourning this afternoon.
And how have those mayors been received?
It's John, what I can tell you, it's not about the mayor, it's not about anybody, it's about these families who are mourning. Right. Some of them, I saw them being collapsing. Some of them in wheelchair. I saw them being overwhelmed by emotions, especially when the singers are belting those gospel songs, especially when those pastors are giving out the speeches to say that the Val Triangle is under siege. You will recall in the past week we are reporting about someone disappearing at an initiation school. Now the 14 children are dying. John, you were speaking on one of your shows that currently in the country we are facing the issue of gangsterism. It's a problem with taxis. It's a problem with the initiation school, and children are dying because of unroadworthy vehicles. So these are some of the speeches, or rather, these are some of the utterances by the people who are attending this particular event to say that the Val Triangle is definitely under siege, and as pastors we need to stand up and pray for this particular region.
SABC reporter Tabisa Khadebe, thank you very much. In a moment we're going to hear from school transport.
Hurry! Get supersized savings at Spar for 4 days only. Buy 850-gram Parmalat pre-packed cheese for 109.99. Save 40 Rand. Or 1 litre Parmalat Everfresh Long Life Milk 6-pack for 84.99. Save 30 Rand. Prices valid from 23 till 26 January while stocks last. Maximum 5 deals per product per customer. Only at Spar.
Extra your study potential with free gifts from Vodacom. Like the Huawei Pura 80 Pro from just 889 per month over 36 months on a 3 gig Red Core plan. Comes with a free Huawei Watch Fit 4 worth 2,999. Plus, get 5 gigs YouTube data for 3 months and 2 months free YouTube Premium. Available in-store and online. T's and C's apply. Further together. Vodacom.
For 90 years, one voice has informed, challenged, and connected a nation. SAFM, South Africa's national English public radio station. Established in 1936 as the SABC's very first service, the A program evolving through the English service, Radio South Africa, to SAFM in 1995. Shaping thought, and strengthening democracy. From a full-spectrum station to a trusted home of news and talk, SAFM continues to lead the conversations 90 years strong. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
John Gerika on SAFM.
Well, the morning, the 14 children scholar transport operators were meeting in Meadowlands in Soweto to chart a way forward after downing tools today. General Secretary of the Greater Gauteng Learner Transport Organization is Sibongile Maseko. Sibongile, thank you very much. What have you garnered or what have you done after this meeting today?
Good afternoon. Yes, today we had a meeting because this stay home was not to march or anything else, but was to come here and say, to chant a way forward as operators. Now, a meeting was held. Now, a decision has been taken that on Monday, everybody's going back to work.
All right. A lot of people paid ahead of schedule. Are they going to get their money back for no operation today?
They won't get the money back because they are supposed to be supporting us because they know what the department is doing to us. Parents are supposed to be supporting us on this initiative of us complying with what the department wants.
We've heard in the news drivers feeling that this crackdown of the law enforcement officers is unfair, punishing the whole industry. What is your say on that?
Yes, it is unfair because right now, as GGLTO, we are in talks with the Department of Transport, Gauteng, in regard to operating licenses. We sit in the crisis committee to deal with this backlog of operating licenses and to say, as learner transport, we haven't been applying for operating licenses because we have been stopped by their department to apply for operating licenses. Our operators were told to pay a certain amount of money, which is 20,000 rand, and people didn't have those 20,000 rand to pay to apply for operating licenses. So that is the reason why operators didn't have licenses. Now we engage in the crisis committee, and these issues are known by the MEC and the Department of Transport.
Are they helping you in any way to improve then? Because every time, and it's the second time I've spoken to your organization, and you're laying the blame firmly on local government. Are you taking responsibility as well for unroadworthy vehicles, unlicensed drivers?
Yes, we are taking responsibility. Let me tell you, there is a back to school campaign that we were busy with before we were disturbed by what happened. And this back to school campaign, it was in partnership with the Department of Roads and Transport, provincially and regionally, which is COJ. Now, as we are busy, on Wednesday, we were on Horizon, we were with the department. On Wednesday, we were at the vehicle station here in Soweto, assessing cars. So the drivers should know what is the problem with their car, because that is what we do as GGLTO and all our regions. Compliance, safety of kids. Now, we are with the department that day. Cars are being tested. On the other hand, the following morning, she impounds the very same cars that were there for compliance. We really are angry.
But they're still unroadworthy.
Yes, they are. Maybe I should explain this.
Yes.
Not every member who's operating in learner transport, if in 100%, only 20% of operators that are under associations. The whole 80% are people who are not in associations.
Right.
Yes, those people, yes. I'm not saying there are no overloads. There are overloads in learner transport. But majority of those people are people not in association. But when they come to impound cars, they impound every car. Even though there's a car that is impounded because the indicator was not working. Is it worth the impoundment? No, it's not.
All right, we're going to have to leave it there. Unfortunately, that's Sibongile Maseko, General Secretary of the Greater Gauteng Learner Transport Organization.
Thank you very much.
We're delving deeper into the world of mining and engineering. From the coalface with Martin Creamer.
It's that time on a Friday. Update at Noon presents another update from the coalface. Martin Creamer is publishing editor of Engineering News and Mining Weekly. Martin, good afternoon to you. The South Africa's Rand refinery this week entering a key gold partnership with Ghana. What's the details there?
Well, I tell you, the gold price is going through the roof, as you know. So everybody wants to get into gold, and the reputation of Rand Refinery is sky high at the moment. You can see the London Bullion Authorities promoting this idea of Rand Refinery helping others in Africa. They went through to Ghana. The government is very pleased that they've formed a association with the refinery that is in Ghana, and the big thing is to get the smaller players in. You get these artisanal miners which go the wrong way when it comes to gold. If you can get them coming through these exchanges, it's going to be great for the continent of Africa, and helping out is our Rand Refinery.
Tell me about this alliance of CEOs recognizing 2 South Africans.
You know, this is the Hydrogen Council, and the CEO of Sasol and the CEO of Valterra Platinum, both on this. This represents about $9 trillion. I mean, this is huge, this group, Hydrogen Council. And for every action, there's an opposite reaction. You know, we saw the White House administration give hydrogen a knock in the jaw. And this has made these people far more determined. They're running around. I mean, their projects just going crazy. And what did we see in Joburg at the end of last year? We saw Toyota going around on hydrogen. Where did that hydrogen come from? It came from Sasol. Who sponsored all this? Valterra Platinum. And who's benefiting from all this? Well, the climate is going to benefit because we want to do this to better the climate, but also we're going to benefit because who wants to import oil at this stage? You know, it's surrounded by war and everything else. You can get help from green hydrogen, and look at the way they're moving very, very fast around the world.
Martin, you keep telling us about this hydrogen. When is it going to be like a regular statement that hydrogen is a fuel?
A long time still, because it's a new entry. So you got to wait. But I can tell you, Peter Cox, who was in Sasol, 3 decades ago, he said I could do it tomorrow. So, you know, you have got a country here with a lot of means to get it going. And hopefully we will do it in Africa. You heard our president sit in Abu Dhabi and say to the president of Abu Dhabi, this is the big thing for Africa, green hydrogen, let's move on it.
Speaking of colours, tell me about this blue diamond that was found in Cullinan.
Yeah, look at this, South Africa. We had the biggest, white diamond in 1902, 1903. That diamond is all over the crown jewels, and it's in royalty there. Now it looks like we've got the biggest blue diamond, which is really great. And this has really had a flurry of response. You can see the reports flying through saying that this looks like they're calling it a massive diamond. And it's great for Cullinan at this time because we know the diamond business is down, and anything that can build it up at the moment is good. And it looks like this will at least focus attention on the potential around our diamonds in South Africa, still in South Africa, which is great.
Yeah, and hopefully it stays in the country and isn't put into some other royalties' jewelry.
Well, that's the thing. Once they start cutting it, you can't do much about it, but the Diamond Fields advertiser is looking at it, attracting easily more than 600 million. So it looks good.
Martin Creamer, thank you very much. Back with the Coalface, same time next week, right here on SAFM next Friday afternoon. That's the program. Been a pleasure to be with you. Sakina's back with you again on Monday. She's keeping a close eye on Julius Malema's pre-sentencing trial. There'll be updates on that throughout the day. Right now, 1 o'clock.
Thank you, John, and the team on the top stories. Court hears evidence from a social worker in Malema's firearm case, and Court finds Cholota's extradition unlawful. For SAFM News, I am Onde Lambana, and a very good day. A private social worker has told the East London Magistrates Court that the EFF leader is not a candidate for direct imprisonment. In her pre-sentencing report, Jessie Thompson states that no harm was caused and that the firearm in question was discharged in a celebratory manner and no violence was intended. She adds that Malema has great reputation of being a community builder through his charitable work.
After a thorough assessment of the accused's personal circumstances, the seriousness of the offences, societal interest and relevant legislation and case law, the following sentencing proposal is made. Impose a fine that reflects the gravity of the offences, with the fine suspended to encourage continued lawful behaviour. Restrict the accused from obtaining a firearm licence for a specific period as an ongoing deterrent. require the accused to make a monetary donation as restitution to Gun Free South Africa, an NGO focused on reducing gun violence in South Africa.
The Constitutional Court has found that the extradition of Murwadi Chalota, the former personal assistant to Ace Magashule, was unlawful. Chalota was extradited from the U.S. in 2024 to face corruption and money laundering charges linked to the Free State asbestos case. The Constitutional Court has found that only the Minister of Justice has the power to make the extradition request and not the NPA. Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Mlambo delivered the judgment.
The National Prosecuting Authority has the power to prepare, draft, and submit to the National Executive extradition requests for the National Executive to make such requests to a foreign state. B. Only the National Executive has the power to make extradition requests to foreign states. C. The respondent's extradition from the United States of America to the Republic of South Africa was unlawful on the basis that the extradition request was authorized by the applicant or an official within the National Prosecuting Authority rather than the National Executive.
It's quiet at the Ndabangulu Primary School in Ndabangulu in the Eastern Cape following a shooting incident that left 3 female educators dead. A 52-year-old man, a deputy principal of the school who has been dismissed for alleged sexual assault of learners, barged into the school and started shooting randomly at educators in full view of the learners before turning the gun on himself. He and another educator died at the scene while 2 others passed away later at healthcare facilities. Has more.
The only activity that is currently taking place at Ndabangulu Primary School is mopping up operations by firefighters cleaning up blood stains inside the classroom in which the tragic incident took place. All other classes are closed as learners and teachers are not at school today. Visibly traumatized security guards at the entrance say the school governing body and educators have gone to visit the family of one of the deceased educators in Ofimvaba. It is reported that the perpetrator was out on bail and was set to appear in court on Monday on charges of sexually assaulting learners. Fundiswa Mhlekude, SABC News, Ndabangulu.
Struggle stalwart and ANC Veterans League member Gidibone Mokhodzi has described the rising death toll of learners in Monday's crash as traumatic. She says hearing of the rise of the death toll was deeply painful. Mokhodzi, who's also a former speaker of the Mfuleni and Sitebeng municipalities, is among the mourners at today's memorial service for the 14 learners who died. She insists both the driver and the owner of the minibus taxi involved in the accident have serious questions to answer.
Well, what we are hearing, the car is not his. And as the driver, even the owner of the car, they must answer some questions. Heavy questions, not just questions. Very heavy questions, because you can imagine we are counting. Some are saying 13, some 14, some 12. But you can just imagine. And those, the young souls dying in that manner.
TikTok has completed a $14 billion deal establishing a separate U.S. subsidiary of the video platform to avoid a ban. The joint venture, approved by the U.S. and China, is owned by a majority of American investors. The BBC's Lily Jamali has more details.
The Trump administration was closely involved in brokering the agreement, which leaves TikTok's American operations in the hands of cloud computing giant Oracle and other investors. Oracle is chaired by close Trump ally Larry Ellison and will be in charge of retraining TikTok's powerful algorithm, which serves up content to 200 million American users. TikTok's Chinese owner ByteDance will retain a stake just shy of 20%. An Emirati investment fund is also among investors in the new joint venture, which keeps TikTok online in the U.S.
Recapping the top story, a private social worker has told the East London Magistrates Court that EFF leader is not a candidate for direct imprisonment. I'm on Dilambana for SFM News Headlines at 1:30.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 106.6 FM in Mangaung.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga. Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
as the lead single for their third studio album X and Y, which came out back in 2005 to be exact. That is Speed of Sound coming through from Coldplay, and that is how we kick off the show on this fine Friday afternoon. Lead vocalist there, Chris Martin, also the man behind curating the international festival, the Global Citizen Festivals. He's often the one who curates the music for all those festivals that take place across the world, including the one that we had, I think it was 2018, 2019, the Mandela 100 Global Citizen festival that happened here at the F&B Stadium. It's just gone 10 past 1 o'clock on the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga, on this fine Friday. Lots happening today by way of the news circuit. Of course, if you cast your eyes on the screen right now on SABC News, you will see the sea of red as the EFF leader Julius Malema's pre-sentencing proceedings are currently underway in East London, and they have painted the entire inner city red, with supporters coming in from all over the country, anticipating though that the sentencing will not be wrapped anytime soon, not today, and possibly not even in the next couple of sittings. A lot of political analysts saying that it is likely to drag out for some time. Also, you'll note that we are taking a break from the ad hoc committee today. They are in recess for Friday. I think it's almost given now, because towards the end of the last year, the last few Fridays, they didn't sit. So I think it's almost given that on Fridays they tend to prefer not to sit for that ad hoc committee, and most likely catching up on other constituent work rather. But by way of an update there, forensic investigator Paul O'Sullivan had made it clear that he will not be testifying before Parliament's ad hoc committee in person. In fact, in a letter that was sent to the committee yesterday, O'Sullivan said that he'll testify at the South African Embassy, and the committee resolved to formally subpoena O'Sullivan to compel his physical appearance here in South Africa, in Cape Town. On our side, by way of our schedule, we're going to be catching up with the founder and director of Rough Cut Studio, and we are looking at a strategic partnership that has been announced. They'll tell us more about that partnership. It speaks to a cultural experience between Africa's rising Ndaba Mandela, an advocate for African entrepreneurship and, of course, legacy leadership, and Rough Cut Studios. Also, we will then be crossing to Untabiseng Dubazani, who is one of the legal experts we tend to lean on the show from time to time, and ask her to unpack a little bit for us everything that has transpired thus far in East London, and what are we to expect and anticipate from this Julius Malema pre-sentencing hearing. I'll let you know what else is coming up on the other side of 2 o'clock, closer to then, as we return to some cultural programming after 2, but we'll unpack that closer to the time. It is the Full Circle with myself, Bridget Masinga, on SAFM. 061 410 4107 is our WhatsApp line, and 086 000 2032 is the number that you can call us on. A quick pause and we'll be right back.
This is Lungi on any other regular day.
This economy makes me post once a day. Who does that? Like, ew.
Now this is Lungi getting extra with the 20 gig summer deal for just 99 Rand.
I have so many gigs. I could even have a gig, guys. I'm going live every single day to me, because get
extra your summer. Get 20 gigs plus 2 months free YouTube Premium and 100 Vodabucks exclusively on the Vodapay app. T's and C's apply. Further together, Vodacom. Want to know how much money OutSurance saves 35-year-old Zanai on her car insurance?
A whopping 1,180 Rand.
That's an incredible 1,180 Rand monthly saving on Zanai's 2017 Mercedes-Benz GLA. And the out bonus she'll get?
It is close to 6,500 Rand in 3 years if I'm claim-free.
Nice. How much money could OutSurance save you? SMS out to 30754. That's out to 30754. Licensed insurer in FSP. TCs and information online.
SAFM Music to make you feel real good. Handpicked just for your pleasure. Classics sounding so good only on SAFM.
All right, so January is for intention setting, less noise, more meaning. So say yes, yes to beauty, yes to culture, yes to slowing down, and yes to the Montreal Jazz Festival happening in Franschhoek, where Montreal meets Africa with curated global and African music in an intimate setting. Don't miss it. Get your tickets at the end of January and make this your yes moment. Montreal Jazz Festival Franschhoek. Say yes, and you can visit www.mjfsa.com for more details.
Bridget Masinga is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
All right, we are catching up with Menelik Nestor Gibbons, now founder and director of Rough Cut Studio, and a new cultural partnership has emerged between Africa's rising Ndaba Mandela, advocate for African entrepreneurship and, of course, legacy leadership, and Rough Cut Studios' Menelik Nestor Gibbons, globally known as Don Dada, a multi-platinum and multi-award-winning South African artist, cultural strategist, and global creative voice. So we're going to find out more about this partnership and what necessitated it. Good afternoon to you, Menelik. How are you?
Good afternoon, Bridget. I'm well, and thank you for that amazing intro. It was so beautiful.
Only but a pleasure. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it. Let's talk about, I guess, firstly, maybe some context around this partnership between yourself and Ndaba Mandela and, the background as to what necessitated it.
Okay, so the partnership between myself and Ndaba Mandela was born out of a need to use our music and our arts not only as something to display to the world, but as a tool that can provide jobs and achieve the Millennium Goals that were set out by our former presidents, by Thabo Mbeki, by Nelson Mandela. We're talking about unemployment, we're talking about education, job creation. So all of these things led to the creation of our partnership. And the main aim of our partnership, if you look at it from the grassroots, as it's beginning right now, would be us going out. Ndaba Mandela is one great orator, a motivational speaker, as well as having great personal business networks. And I bring my PR experience, my experience in the media world. So together we're hoping to take this and create opportunities where not only do we showcase African talents, but on a larger scale, we'll be able to bring African talent onto these platforms, allowing them to showcase their talent, as well as having meaningful discussions around what is impacting us as the youth of Africa. I think it's something that's not done a lot, and we'd be very excited to hear from the people what is really affecting them and afflicting them, especially within the art sphere, so we can look at how to alleviate these pains.
Looking at how the music industry in particular has actually evolved over time, ironically enough, I happened to be Googling the contact details of Universal Music just the other day, and I realized that it almost looks as though they've gone remote now. How does a partnership like this begin to plug in to perhaps some of the challenges that local musicians face? How does it begin to address some of the issues that local creatives are challenged with in order to do what you've set out, which is to use music and broadly the creative sector to provide jobs and address sustainable development goals?
Well, the platforms that Ndaba Mandela has been utilizing and has been invited to come and speak on, including the Mandela African Leadership Summit that will be taking place in Kenya next month, is platforms that are listened to by very influential people within not only the art sphere but within the nations in Africa. And so we're hoping to have these conversations with them, in Ndaba Mandela doing his motivational speaking and so on, and then to bring these artists on stage in order to showcase their talents to a broader audience, people who have more influence and more power to make decisions, to place them into better positions, thereby creating opportunities for them. But this obviously is one of our first stages that we're looking at, and as we grow and as we continue to identify the problems within the sphere, then we will adapt and be fluid with the methods in which we tackle these problems.
When it comes to contributing meaningfully to the development of conscious creative economies and youth empowerment, That speaks to perhaps also just the infrastructure around the creative economies. We were having a conversation, was it yesterday, day before, with that Indaba, that rap, the 4-day Indaba, around the creative sectors in the country and some of the challenges that they face. And obviously, some of those speak primarily to just infrastructure and the availability of creative centers as well, which once upon a time used to be part of South Africa's legacy and now seems to be a forgotten era. How do you begin to sort of address those really tangible needs? That those really tangible infrastructure shortages and needs that creatives need in place in order for them to be able to create and ultimately sustain themselves?
That's a great question, and the problem is so large, especially here in South Africa. It's very difficult to tackle in one go. So it's something that we're aiming to address slowly but surely. Firstly, as I said, by creating opportunities for a lot of these youngsters. There's so many talented people within this nation and so many talented people across this continent who are not getting an opportunity to showcase their talent. So that's something that we're definitely looking at addressing. Secondly, it's to speak to power. I think, as I said, we have very influential people that will be attending all of these workshops that we're planning on and having. And so it's to speak to them and see how can we adjust what is in place and the mandates that are in place and create a better place for these African creatives. I think that when you look at everything that was placed out before us, the mandates that are used on us are very old. Nothing has really been updated for the modern era and for the changes that have happened globally and not just on the African continent. And so when you look at the popularity of Africans within the diaspora and how our music is doing amazing things, then we have to look at ways of how to safeguard this culture, how to maintain the South African authenticity within this music that we're presenting to the world, and how to make sure that these artists are not only receiving an opportunity, but receiving a way to create a sustainable career. So with all of these things in mind, we'll be having conversations and trying to talk to all of the correct shareholders within the media sphere to see how we can in place and enforce change.
Beyond giving access to rooms and giving access to platform, you cite that the partnership is going to invite alignment from institutions and cultural bodies as well as strategic partners who understand the power of culture as infrastructure and who are committed to ethical, sustainable impact. Draw us a mind map perhaps of who you've already isolated, whose ears are you already in to bring along on this journey, who is a stakeholder in the CCIs?
One of the main people that we're hoping to get on board is the government, the Department of Arts and Culture, the people that we've entrusted to safeguard our arts and our culture. These are the people that we'd love to definitely involve, because I feel that it's a matter that they have to be a part of. Besides them, there's so many different institutions. For example, the Standard Bank, who's really taken an interest in national arts and in the cultural heritage of South Africa. So this is another institution that we'd love to approach. Old Mutual as well as looking at places that are prioritizing the health and the mental health of the people within the creative sphere. I think that is also something that's very important. In the past years, we've been seeing people collapse on stage, pass away on stage. We've even been seeing so many problems within the artistic sphere. So we'd like to involve these people to ensure that we have longevity, we have healthy artists, we have mentally agile artists, and we have artists that are ready to carry the flag proudly and for a prolonged period. So those are some of the stakeholders that we have in mind, but those are not the only stakeholders. We're open to a whole bunch of others.
Talk to us about how you'll go about measuring the success of the program, or if I may call it the partnership and campaign.
100%. So we have outside agencies and people that will be looking at our deliverables and our targets that have been set for us. And as they are being achieved, then we will be picking them off, and if not achieved, then of course we'll be going back and reevaluating as to why it has not been achieved, what can we do better, and how can we take this forward in a better light. So we do have an outside agency that will be looking at it and maintaining that everything is done in in a fair and equal way. And as well as I said, we've set deliverables, which definitely makes it a lot easier when you know in what direction and what you're heading for, that it makes it easier for you to work towards it.
Yeah. Menelik, thank you so much for the time this afternoon. That was Menelik Nestor Gibbons, a.k.a. Don Dada, on the back of that partnership with Ndaba Mandela's Africa Rising. It's fast approaching 1:30. Ondela, do not run. Or it's Khulufelo, do not run. I said it's fast approaching. I didn't say it is. So relax into it. Still a few more minutes to go before the bottom of the hour with the headline news. We're going to take a little music accompaniment and then we'll come back on the other side with the headlines.
I believe in love. Love reveals just who we are. But in our fear, we may lose out on our star. Love brings us closer while fear tears us apart. Love sets us free, but our fear will keep us frozen. But ooh, I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. Oh, love heals while fear brings on disease. Love opens up while fear closes us in. Love breeds the courage to do the things that we once feared. Though we feel the fear, still we move right on in love. But ooh, I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. Believe it with all my heart, my mind, and all my actions. Believe it with all my heart, my mind, and all my actions. Believe it with all my heart, my mind, and all my actions. Believe it with all my heart, my mind, and all my actions. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Ooh, I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Believe it with all my heart, my mind, and all my actions. Believe it with all my heart, my mind, and all my actions.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Other news headlines on SAFM. Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Mlambo has ruled that Muradi Cholota's case be remitted to the High Court in the Free State. Justice Mlambo says while Cholota's extradition was unlawful, it does not deprive the High Court of criminal jurisdiction to prosecute. A private social worker has told the East London Magistrates Court that EFF leader is not a candidate for direct imprisonment, and the African Union has said it's ending its suspension of Guinea imposed since a military coup in 2021. It follows a return to constitutional rule under an elected president. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Bridget Masinga is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
Like I said, there's a lot going on in the news cycle today. There's also that mass memorial service that's currently underway in the Vaal for the young crash victims that perished a few days ago. Families are still reeling from the shock of that whole incident. Of course, still the wounds are still very, very fresh, and that mass memorial has been underway since the morning. And a story that's accompanying that as well, that I'm sure they're keeping a keen eye on SABC News, is the impound of scholar transportation. There's been a mass mobilization by all the respective police arms, from SAPS to traffic, highway patrols and the likes, who have been out in mass throughout the province, really just cleaning up the transport, the scholar transport vehicles that are on the way, checking for compliance and such things. I think over 60 vehicles already impounded yesterday, and it continues till today. And this, of course, is being spearheaded by Minister Barbara Creasy. Interestingly enough, is the visuals we've seen of the vehicles that, because SABC News is following the story, when we're seeing the vehicles, seats that are loose, steering wheels that are not secured, wheels, doors that are coming off, and yet still the Association for College, I didn't even know there was an Association for Scholar Transportation, is striking. They didn't take kids to school today. Because they were striking against the vehicles that were impounded. But another story that speaks to the conversation that we are having now is a conversation with Ntabiseng Dubazana, who is the director at Dubazana Attorneys, and we're talking around Julius Malema's pre-sentencing hearing that is currently happening in East London. How are you doing, Ntabiseng?
I am good, Bridget. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much. Thank you for the time. We appreciate it. I mean, let's talk about this. So it's the pre-sentencing hearing that is happening today, and today is literally day one of that hearing.
Yes. So we've heard so far from the social worker that was appointed to assess the accused. That's basically how it would go. Now, the social worker was made to read out the entire report, which is also standard. And then thereafter, the attorneys, which is the defense attorney and the prosecutor, are given an opportunity to cross-examine her if they so wish on the said document, why her recommendations, what was she basing it on, stuff like that, which is what we saw the defense counsel do for Ndete Malema. So now the state, from the bit that we've watched up until now, I think they're going back quite soon, but what it seems the state is trying to do is to establish that she has some sort of bias, or she doesn't take violent crimes seriously, because she was asked about a few cases wherein she was handed over the mandate to assess the accused, one of a domestic violence case, and then one was wherein there was some sort of death that happened. So the state seems to say that the court should not take her recommendations seriously, because when it comes to violent crime, she's too lenient. So we will see how far he continues once they're back from break, to see how does he maneuver himself into this situation, and whether the court will listen to him.
So interesting that you were saying that part of this process is them scrutinizing previous judgments of the magistrate or the judge, to see if there's some kind of pattern that can be used in do we call it in his defense at this point?
Yes, no, it's a social worker actually, and we never do that. So it's the first time actually, at least in my experience, where I'm seeing a social worker going into the history of of a social worker's report without giving her an opportunity to prepare. So it should have been, if you're going to question what I have done in the past, then give me a chance to show you why I made the decision that I made based on the facts of the case that I was dealing with, based on the personal circumstances of the accused, etc. So she's just being blindsided by the state right now. That's why her answers, if you hear her, she's like, I can't give you an answer because I don't have the case before me. Or alternatively, I can't give you an answer because I haven't had the opportunity to deal with this thing. So I'm not sure what angle the state is trying to deal with right now.
What else happens at at these proceedings?
All right. So after this, the court is then given an opportunity to go and look at the pre-sentence report and then apply its mind to the recommendations that were made by the social worker. And then thereafter, then the court will then give a date when sentencing will actually happen. And then that's it. So we are likely not going to see sentence today. It's going to be postponed to another day.
It's interesting. I mean, it's an interesting case, I guess, because there is a lot on the line with this. So, how long is this process, this pre-sentencing process, supposed to be? Considering the fact that we're speaking multiple years here, the potential end of Julius's political career, but also that jail implication that could come as a result of the sentencing.
Pre-sentence reports should not take anything more than 2 hours in a day. I think because this is a high-profile case, it involves somebody in the public eye. Maybe the state and the defense just want to make sure they cross their T's and dot their I's. It's taking longer than I would have anticipated it should. In my opinion, it should have been over by now. So now that they've gone to lunch and then they're going to go back again, we're looking at another hour. And by then, court is going to have to go and adjourn. And then the magistrate has to then go and assess everything and then decide whether she's going to hand down a sentence tomorrow or any other day that she would like to do so.
So interesting, because also the other thing that we've kind of been glimpsing from all the analysts this morning was them saying that this process, and you saying that pre-sentencing hearings normally take about a day. A lot of the analysts were saying because of the high stakes of this particular individual, this could be a protracted process where it could run into days or into weeks. But you were saying from a legal practice perspective, normally it's just a matter of a day, perhaps two, if we're stretching.
Yes, and I agree with them because of the high stakes, like you said. I'm sure the defense is going to want to call a witness or two to speak to the character of the accused, why it is that the accused should not get a custodial sentence. And I'm sure thereafter the state is going to want to call one or two witnesses of their own to testify as to why the accused should get a custodial sentence. So I think we're looking at an unnecessarily long process, but I also understand why it's going that route. And then thereafter, the magistrate will then have to make a decision on what kind of sentence is going to impose.
Yeah. Is a lot of weight carried at this pre-sentencing proceeding on perhaps the folks that testify on behalf of the defendant or bolster maybe the argument of the state? Is there still a lot of weight that is carried by the statements that are coming out today, this morning?
Yes, the court does consider it quite in a quite serious manner because they are both aggravating statements and also mitigating statements, I beg your pardon. So these things work in their favor because some things that they are of a personal effect, they don't have anything to do with the case. So we're dealing with the personality of the individual, how they were affected by the situation or the crime, all of these things. So these things play a factor in what the court would consider what we call the interest of justice. So the interest of justice can range from anything. So that's why mitigation and aggravation are so important.
I got you. We appreciate your time, Nthabiseng Dubazana. Thank you so much. That was Director at Dubazana Attorneys. It is 2 o'clock. We're going to quickly have a reset by way of commercial, and then we'll come back on the other side.
When you train for results, you don't quit halfway. Earn up to 7.35% interest with a Nedbank Just Invest account. Access your money within 24 hours. Keep your money agile. Get money fit with Nedbank. See money differently. Nedbank. For more information, visit nedbank.co.za. We're licensed FSP and registered credit provider. T's and C's apply.
What if your child could achieve better academic results in 2026? At Teneo School, they can. Our smart school system tracks every learner in real time and helps teachers spot gaps early. The results? With over 3,500 successful Teneo School matriculants, learners improve their average marks by 12% in the first year. Access affordable private schooling, no restrictive entry, fees starting from 3,000 Rand per month. Enroll now for 2026 at teneoschool.co.za. That's TENEO school.co.za.
As the nation seeks answers, SAFM brings you live, uninterrupted coverage of Parliament's Ad Hoc Committee investigating allegations made by KwaZulu-Natal Provincial Commissioner, Lieutenant General Nhlanhla Mkhwanazi. You can also stay up to date with the Judicial Commission of Inquiry into Criminality, Political Interference and Corruption in the Criminal Justice System. Stay informed, stay connected. Tune in live on SAFM 104 to 107 and follow the coverage across our digital platforms live on Facebook, X and YouTube at SAFM Radio. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365. Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za. SAFM Music. Good times, good memories.
I'm just like somebody
Old school sounding so good. SAFM Music with you wherever you go.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
All right, as we continue today, shifting gears a little bit, it's a Friday. You know, technically on a Friday, we tend to air on arts and culture conversations, but also because of ad hoc committee, we're kind of just trying to catch up on as many things as we possibly can. But speaking of the more artsy element of our Friday, we are going to be catching up with Fran Rico Lucas, now broadcaster, as the SABC launches a brand new talk show, Entlek Let's Talk. And Entlek Let's Connect is premiering on Monday, 9th of February at 4:30, and it's going to be airing Mondays to Fridays on S2 and also available on SABC Plus. And this one is being co-hosted by Penny Libiani alongside RSG presenter and former 50-50 presenter, Fran Rico Lucas. Fran Rico Lucas joins us now. How are you doing this afternoon?
Hey, Bridget, how are you doing? What an honor to speak with you on a Friday afternoon.
I'm great. Thank you so much. I appreciate the time because I anticipate that today being the 23rd of January, with the show just literally a few days away from TX, you're probably busy in the background, doing some sort of live to tape rehearsals, getting things like timing correct and all those nitty-gritties that people are not aware of that happen before a show actually takes to air.
Well, besides just finding, the right socks, the one sock that matches the other one. But further on, it's business as usual, family first, obviously, and just getting those things ready. But it really just sinks so nicely, because it really feels to me like a really conversation-driven show, and it's going to be such a phenomenal thing, to create that space for, thoughtful, respectful dialogue, around real people, and living everyday life, and it's about connection, understanding, and it really just translates onto TV, because it's about that realness, what I mean.
S2 has always been the family-orientated station in our bouquet, really centered around family viewing. Talk to us about this show, because I think, people have been missing that element of talk show from South African programming for a while now, since the departure of, the Nolene Maholona Sangwa from S3. There really has been a gap for that kind of 360 feel good, as you say, conversational talk show.
Yes. No, I think we basically focus on everyday realities, man. From relationships, that conversations that we think we can have them at home, and then it sparks an argument. Yes. We want to start that conversation there, And there's a thing that always is in my mind. My personal opinion is more like, if it's not a bit controversial, why are we having the conversation? You know what I'm saying? We're getting straight to the heart of it. From family dynamics to that identity, to the pressures that we're having. I mean, it's January, the things people are going through. But I mean, love will be in the air closely at that time. So we're also talking about accountability, personal growth, and it's handled in a way that's relatable. Not very far away, but relatable. In the languages that we all speak, day in and day out as well. So it's responsible and not only sensational.
Yeah, by way of format, are we looking at a live in-studio formatting, or perhaps there's some other different elements as well?
Yes, we're looking at a live format, and I will be doing some outside things, going to the auntie's kitchen and go learn how to cook, because I want to bring home some knowledge, because I think my partner's also sick of being able to only make an omelette, So maybe I can learn something, from making a kususter to you name it. And I think that element of a real South African homegrown experience that we will also be having, and that's excluding, the inside, experience that we're also going to be having. I'm the co-host, so my job is to help facilitate, these conversations and bring the perspective of everyday lived experiences, So making sure that, decisions remain accessible and grounded in if I can say in so many words.
Yeah, I mean, you are no stranger, Fran Rico. You're no stranger to television, no stranger to the SABC family, because having been a part of that iconic legacy title of 50-50, and now, as you say, this is almost like a full circle moment for you, a returning home of sorts.
Yeah, it's definitely returning home. It makes me a little bit teary-eyed, but I don't like to get emotional on interviews. But because this it's always been a lifelong dream of mine, to be in this space, and believing, being a vessel, that can create space for people, and to actually land Eintlik, let's connect. It literally resonates with me from my head to my toe, and and being a person that grew up in the church, and my father used to pick us up every 3 years, and then we go to a different province, and we open a church and all those things. You wonder why you had such a crazy life, and it just makes sense now. Because speaking to the camera is not what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be speaking to South Africans, that I know and understand, and we're going to be bringing those topics as well, on a plate. So it feels like home. I mean, SABC2 is the place that we all actually belong.
That is the truth right there. And also exciting is that there's always excitement around the celebrity element of talk shows, because I think people get to glimpse them in the way that they don't know. And I know that you've got quite the star-studded lineup. You want to
can clock that. You can clock that already. You can clock it.
You want to tantalize our taste buds with one or two names?
Well, so you might see actors, musicians, and media personalities. You know, I don't know if Gail Mabale means something to you, and also Zegs Batwini and Shomizi. Maybe that name, just to mention alongside the voices of the communities as well. That's going to be there. It's going to be really about diversity and that perspective that people that you don't really want to feel alone. And I feel like the thing is that we can see the people on social media, and they can look actually very close to your face but very far away. But to know that the struggles that we are going through, that shared experience, I mean, it's already a 50% better feeling if you know that you're not going through it alone.
Absolutely.
And that is the authenticity that the show brings to the forefront.
Absolutely. Friend Rico Lucas, thank you so much for the time. So Monday, 9th February, 4:30 p.m. That's Mondays to Fridays on S2. You can catch Friend Rico Lucas alongside Penny Libiani as they co-host this brand new show, Entlek Let's Connect, with that star-studded lineup, kicking off season 1 of the show, featuring the likes of Gail Mabalani, Zegs Bantwini, Somizi coming through, as well as comedian Sevengesi and other guests. And as you say, the heart element is speaking directly to the soul of South African families. 10 to 2 o'clock, a quick break, and then we'll be right back.
I don't love going to school. I don't love sitting in a classroom with 50 other children. But I do love learning. Ndiyakuthanda ukufunda isiXhosa as a language. I do love getting good grades. I do love UCT Online High School because I do love my future. Apply online before the 26th of January.
From the shows that bring us laughter to the moments that inspire us, your SABC TV license makes it all possible. Every license paid supports local stories, top talent, and the programs that unite South Africa. Pay your TV license today. Visit tvlic.co.za or your nearest retail outlet. Hashtag your screen, your story. Together, we make it happen.
Hi, my name is Kutlwana Masote, your host of Weekend Sundowner Classics, every Saturday and Sunday afternoon between the hours of 4 and 7 p.m. exclusively on SAFM. Now, this is where you get your best classical music jams on any radio platform. Join me every Saturday and Sunday afternoon between 4 and 7 p.m. Weekend Sundowner Classics.
Eskom customers, change is here. Eskom is upgrading old electricity meters with modern smart meters, giving you clarity, control, and confidence. With your new meter, you'll be able to see your usage in real time, giving you the power to manage your electricity with ease. Smart meters are accurate and help Eskom respond faster to issues. And please allow their authorized installers access to install your new meter. For more information, you can visit Eskom's website. Eskom, redefining for a better future.
Is there ever a bad time for a good conversation? SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
All right, it's fast approaching 5 to 2 o'clock. We've got enough time just to sneak in a song. I feel like today we're taking advantage because we haven't had music in such a long time on the show. And so we thought we'd sneak in a wonderful neo-soul classic. There's Zap Mama featuring Erykah Badu with Bandy Bandy.
Like bandy bandy.
But it's alright now, feels so wrong. Listen to what I say. See if you don't agree. There's something I learned long ago. Down where the wild waters flow. Something people do to set their spirit free. In the morning time, in the afternoon, in the cool evening breeze. Like bandy bandy. Wave your body, wave your like bandy bandy. Like bandy bandy. Wave your body, like bandy bandy.
SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
On the top stories, Charlotte's case to be sent back to a lower court and AU ends its suspension of Guinea. For SAFM News, I am Onde Lambana and a very good day. Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Mlambo has ruled that Murwadi Charlotte's case be remitted to the High Court in the Free State. Charlotte, the former PA of Ace Magashule, was extradited from the US in 2024 to face corruption and money laundering charges linked to the Free State asbestos case. Justice Mlambo delivered the ruling.
However, the fact that the extradition was unlawful, as aforesaid, does not of itself deprive the High Court of South Africa, Free State Division, Bloemfontein, of criminal jurisdiction over the respondent. The matter is remitted to the High Court of South Africa, Free State Division, Bloemfontein, to determine the remaining grounds of the respondent's special plea.
A private social worker has told the East London Regional Court in the Eastern Cape that EFF leader Julius Malema is not a candidate for direct imprisonment. In her pre-sentencing report, Jessie Thompson states that no harm was caused. Thompson also states that the firearm in question was discharged in a celebratory manner and no violence was intended. She adds that Malema has a great reputation of being a community builder through his charitable work.
After a thorough assessment of the accused's personal circumstances, the seriousness of the offences, societal interest, and relevant legislation and case law, the following sentencing proposal is made. Impose a fine that reflects the gravity of the offences, with the fine suspended to encourage continued lawful behaviour. Restrict the accused from obtaining a firearm licence for a specific period as an ongoing deterrent. Require the accused to make a monetary donation as restitution to Gun Free South Africa, an NGO focused on reducing gun violence in South Africa.
The city of Ekurhuleni has dismissed allegations that the water supply in Tsakani, Duduza, Langerville and Guatemala has been poisoned. Claims have been circulating on social media about the quality of water in these areas. City spokesperson Zweli Dlamini says water is tested on a daily basis and has confirmed that it is safe and fully compliant with national drinking water standards.
There is no problem with the water in the city of Ekurhuleni. People can continue consuming our water. It still remains among the best in the country. So whoever is actually sending out these false allegations and voice notes which we've picked up in the social media space is actually being a person who does not take the feelings of our people very seriously, and we strongly condemn that.
Struggle stalwart and ANC Veterans League member Gidibone Mukhodzi has described the rising death toll of learners in Monday's crash as traumatic. She says hearing of the rise of the death toll was deeply painful. Mukhodzi, who is also a former speaker of the Mfuleni and Citibank municipalities, is among the mourners at today's memorial service for the 14 learners who died. She insists both the driver and the owner of the minibus taxi involved in the accident have serious questions to answer.
Well, what we are hearing, the car is not his. And as the driver, even the owner of the car, they must answer some questions. Heavy questions, not just questions. Very heavy questions, because you can imagine we are counting. Some are saying 13, some 14, some 12. But you can just imagine. And the young souls dying in that manner.
The African Union has said it's ending its suspension of Guinea imposed since a military coup in 2021. It follows a return to constitutional rule under an elected president. The BBC's David Bamford has the details.
The African Union's Peace and Security Council said it was inviting Guinea to immediately resume its participation in AU activities. The Council commended Guinea's adoption of a new constitution and December's presidential election won by the coup leader, General Mamadi Doumbouya. The former president, Alpha Condé, and the long-time opposition leader, Cellou Dalein Diallo, were both barred from running. Some opposition parties and civil society groups called the vote a sham. Since 2020, Guinea was one of 5 West African countries in which the military seized power.
Recapping the top story, Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Mlambo has ruled that Muruadi Cholote's case be remitted to the High Court in the Free State. I am Ondelambana for SAFM News Headlines at 2:30.
There are routines we all love. Morning and night skincare routines, exercise routines, even new routines like meal prep, journaling, and chemo. That last one hit differently, didn't it? The truth is, over 99% of cervical cancer cases are linked to the human papillomavirus. So if you're a woman between 15 and 44, act now. Ask your healthcare provider about the HPV vaccine. This message was brought to you by MSD.
Have you discovered the TV license WhatsApp yet? We see you, binging reruns, living for the drama, loving the SABC Plus sports replays. Now, paying your TV license fits the vibe. Simply say hi on WhatsApp to 077 6069 060. Get your balance, make a payment, or set up a debit order all in one chat. No queues, no please hold, just convenience that feels like it should have been here all along. Because every screen in South Africa is a stage and yours is lit. So why wait? Send hi on WhatsApp to 077 6069 060 and get your TV license sorted today. Hashtag your screen, your story.
At Dis-Chem, get ready to start the year strong with bigger savings and better rewards. Swipe your Better Rewards card to save a massive 165 Rand on Pampers Premium Care Nappies. Now just 424 Rand 79. And get a massive 30% off Johnson's Baby Wipes. Look out for the Better Rewards icon to get an extra 10% off on Better Rewards brands. Offers valid from Tuesday 13 January to Sunday 15 February. Only at Dis-Chem. Better health starts here.
January is for intention setting. Less noise, more meaning. So say yes. Yes to beauty, yes to culture, yes to slowing down, and yes to the Montreal Jazz Festival in Franschhoek, where Montreal meets Africa with curated global and African music in an intimate setting. Don't miss it. Get your tickets at the end of January and make this your yes moment. Montreal Jazz Festival Franschhoek. Say yes. Visit their website www.mjfsa.com for details.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 105.9 FM in Port Elizabeth.
The Full Circle with Bridget Masinga, Monday to Friday, 1 to 3 p.m.
One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities. I look like all you need. Let me take the night I love real easy. And I know that you still wanna see me. On the Sunday morning music grand look like all you need. See wonderland in your eyes. Might need your company tonight. Something in you lit up heaven in me. The feeling won't let me sleep. 'Cause I'm the way you move, the way you feel. One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities. I look like all you need. One kiss is all it takes. Falling in love with me. Possibilities. I look like all you need.
I mean, if I was waking up tomorrow morning for Jet Set Breakfast, I'll say it's a bit of a precursor to the vibes that we're going to bring to Jet Set Breakfast tomorrow. But I'm not with you tomorrow at Jet Set Breakfast. But yeah, wonderful way to kick off the weekend. Calvin Harris there featuring Dua Lipa with One Kiss. It's gone 10 past 2 o'clock on this fine Friday. And it is a Friday after 2, so you know that we tend to check in with Siwela Langeni, co-founder of the book Circle Capital and author of Making Friends with Feelings. And she's got some of the latest titles for us today. I still maintain, Siwela, and I know we had this conversation last week or the week before where I teased you and said, I can't believe you have a list of books for us in January. I thought you'd be saying, in fact, I'm giving you all time to talk amongst yourselves as book readers. I'm giving you all time to catch up on the long list that I gave you all throughout December. How are you doing today?
I'm good. No, man, there's no time to waste. Books are coming out like literally every week. I was just shocked yesterday. Penn Macmillan announced that Rachel Kolisi is releasing a book in March. So literally there's books coming out every week. So we'll talk about it. I didn't prepare.
Oh, that is definitely one that's going to be of keen interest, Umakoti of the Nation.
For sure.
I wonder the kind of numbers it's going to do, but we'll talk about that one closer to the time. Let's talk about what's on today's agenda.
So today's agenda is a book that I'm so excited about, a book that has sold so well at Book Circle Capital, and I'm sure in bookshops nationwide. I Write What I Like by Steve Biko is a famous book. It's the most stolen book at Book Circle Capital.
Really?
Yeah, and so the exciting part is there's an isiXhosa version, so I hope I say this correctly. Ndibala Intando Yam.
Yes.
So this week they announced that we've got an isiXhosa translation, which is of this famous book, which was translated by Professor P.T. Ntuze with input from Professor Sipiwe Sesanti and Dr. Atambile Masula. So this book is like years in the making, to translate this iconic book. It's been long awaited, and it's been done in conjunction with the Biko Foundation and the family, which features writing from the famous activist and Black consciousness leader Steve Biko before his untimely death in detention at the age of 30. This book was instrumental in uniting Black Africans in the struggle against apartheid government in South Africa. So this edition, what people can look forward to, the foreword by Nkosinathi Biko, as well as material of the original 2004 Kado Africa edition, a collection of Biko's columns entitled I Write What I Like, published by South African, SASO, under the pseudonym Frank Talk, and other journal articles. So it's exciting to see work like this being translated, and it was important to just feature it. I know it's not a necessarily new book, but the translation, I think it's good news. And Professor P.T. Ntuze has translated other books before. He's also done Long Walk to Freedom by former President Nelson Mandela, and this book, unfortunately, he passed last year. So it was finished, the translation was finished off by the other two professors, by the other academics, Professor Sesanti and Dr. Masula. Those who follow her on the social will see she's been talking about it the whole week. So I think it's an exciting book, Bridget, where we're seeing, content being made available. I know it's not as fast as we want to, but we can see that progress is being made, that language books are being made available in multiple languages, for this diverse country of ours.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an exciting title. Yeah, and I say this hanging my head in shame. I don't mind judging myself. I say this hanging my head in shame because it's been sitting on the bookshelf of my partner's home for many years, and I still have not picked it up.
Yeah.
So I've got to pick it up, in fact, but yes, I completely.
But that story is common, Bridget. Most people say that. It's a book that you want to have, even if you haven't opened it, but you want to have in your home.
But what good is the book if it's just sitting, on the shelf, so that when visitors come and peruse the titles on your shelf, you look like you are well read, you look like, you're a well-rounded individual, and that you can carry out conversations of significance because you actually have not read the material.
But when the time is right, I know you'll open it up.
Absolutely. And in fact, when you say that, I've heard from a lot of readers and a lot of writers alike, people will say some books just find you when the time is right, when your energy is ready, and then the book will find you. It might have been staring at you every day when you go into your office for 20 years until one day you pick it up. So I write what I like. And this book first came out. This is not its first sort of republication, because I also don't know how many reprints the English version has had, but I know that it initially came out around about 78, right? And it was published by Bowadine Press in London. And then it came out a couple of years after that as well, republished again, I think late 80s, 87, 88, somewhere around there by Hanneman. And now obviously getting the first iteration of it in isiXhosa.
Yes. So it would be interesting to know how many reprints it's had, but I'm sure it's plenty. I mean, it's been around for so long. So it's an exciting development, and just watching this, it's making me excited even about my home language. Like, how well can I read in my home language? So I think it's just encouraging all of us to just go back, because if we are to pass it on to the kids, we should be able to do it right. So
absolutely.
That's exciting.
I think this also plugs into that conversation around decolonization of education, and a book like this is regarded as an academic reading, mandatory academic reading to conscientize the mind. And so when you make it available in indigenous languages, it means you give it access to a large majority of South Africans that may not have had the opportunity to engage these ideas.
Absolutely.
I want to take a quick break, Siwela. Come back on the other side, and I'll let you intro our next conversation with the author Unoguhle Khumalo, who's standing by on the line. It's just gone 18 past.
Ernest Pillay. Some songs take you back instantly to your first love, a road trip, or just simpler times. The soundtrack of your life with me, Ernest Pillay, is where timeless hits and forgotten favorites come together to tell your story. It's not just music, it's memories, moments, and the meaning behind this jam.
Don't you change someone by night.
Rediscover the songs that shaped your journey. Tune in to The Soundtrack of Your Life with me, Ernest Pillay, Saturdays and Sundays, 1 to 4 p.m., only on SAFM 104 to 107 nationwide.
Standing on his own.
Bridget Masinga on SAFM.
All right, if you've just missed the first half of my conversation with Usiwela Langeni, she just clued us into the fact that we're having the first isiXhosa edition of that iconic writing by Steve Biko, I Write What I Like, translated to Ndibala Intando Yami, that is hitting the bookshelves. It should be exciting times as people engage this thought-provoking writing and works in the native tongue of isiXhosa. Should also be interesting to see then how much traction it gains with young people who are of isiXhosa speaking as their first language. Right now, though, we're going to be catching up with a different book and a different individual. Siwela, perhaps some context behind our next guest.
So, Boss Your Money is a book we spoke about like when we first came back at the beginning of Jan. If you remember, it's about financial literacy. Nokuhle is a chartered accountant and a personal finance content creator. So this book is a way to get us to talk about money, but in a more relatable sense. And you and I had fun talking about how it's important to talk about money, especially in Jan. So I thought today let's invite her so that we can hear it directly from her, the thinking behind the book. It's called a No Fluff Guide into Understanding Your Money. So I'll hand over to you to have a chat with her.
Wonderful. Noguhle Khumalo, thank you so much for the conversation on this fine Friday afternoon. As Siwela has said, Boss Your Money is the title of the book. Let's talk about the sentiment around you calling this a no fluff guide. What does this mean?
Firstly, hi Bridget and hi Siwela. Thank you so much for steal that for my next engagement. So when it comes to the title "Boss Your Money," it's a very confident title. And if I'm being very honest, I struggled with the publisher. I was like, guys, are we really sure that this is the title we want? But it was catchy and it summed up the essence of the book. We want to be confident with our money, so the title should speak to that. And I think it does just that. And the no fluff guide comes in because a lot of the times when we do read finance books, sometimes they talk about the way we think about money emotionally and psychologically, which is a very important pillar. However, once you're done reading the book, it's a thing of now what? So Boss Your Money, on the other hand, there'll be things that you can do as you're reading. You'll literally pause and be like, actually, I want to do this right now. And the book allows you to do that.
I got you. So it's almost like on one hand, it's almost as though it's a how-to accountability guide.
100%. And I feel like I'm coming in with a big sister voice because I always write or I do things with the mind that my younger siblings or younger cousins are reading. And I'm always like, whenever they have the questions, I hope that they find the answers that I once wanted.
All right. Talk to us about the one myth perhaps about money that you wanted to bust for South Africans.
That you should keep it confidential, that you shouldn't speak about money. I know that's something that my parents probably said a few times, and that's something that society, encourages. Don't tell us how much you earn. Don't tell us how much you're paying for your car. But I believe that the secrecy actually doesn't really benefit us as individuals. It benefits financial institutions and other predatory methods. Obviously, there's a time and a place for disclosing those things. You wouldn't tell someone who's struggling that, oh my word, I just made 2 million. However, when you're speaking to people in your circles, it allows you to identify, actually, I might be paying too much on my bond. Let me see if I can't negotiate this. Or, oh, that car's only that much. Okay, that's interesting. I should look into 1, 2, 3. So that's my myth.
Yeah, I like your myth because your myth speaks to something I like to antagonize on the airwaves, this whole notion of divide and conquer when it comes to talking about salaries. In my space, for instance, oh, no, you can't talk amongst each other as to how much the other gets paid. And I'm like, to whose benefit?
Exactly. Even I've moved into slightly content creation space, and I'm just like, I wonder if I'm charging the appropriate amount. But it's so awkward to ask people, whereas to me the price should be the price. It should be a menu. If I ask you, or if a big company is asking, it should be the same price. Just name your price. But people are shy about this. You see, even when you're trying to buy online, DM for pricing, people are not confident to tell us exactly exactly what they think their item is worth.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
so interesting when you use that DM for pricing, because then I often think you are not serious about your business.
The moment I see that, you lose me, because
So
because now it's like, I don't know, if are you going to charge me high? Are you going to stalk my profile and be like, okay,
Yes.
this person can afford a lot more, let me triple the price.
You see,
You know,
that's an interesting
exactly.
point. Never thought about that. I just always thought you're not serious about your business because, Checkers and Woolies don't tell me I must go speak to the manager about the price. It's just there. Then I decide, am I buying my apples there or am I buying my apples at the other store? End of story. You've also asked the same questions as your readers regarding work and saving. What was the specific aha moment for you that turned a curiosity into a money boss approach?
I think for me, it was realizing that time is the most important factor in this money game. And we speak about a wealth creation formula in the book, and we call time a magic multiplier. Because you can earn a lot of money, or you can save like a lot of money and invest a lot of money, but time is really what determines how lucky you feel. Because if you start saving or investing from a young age, time allows your money to make its own money. So you're not always pumping it in. Whereas if you relax and say, oh, I'll do this 10 years before I retire, you're playing catch up, because you can't replace time. You can't time travel, at least not yet. So for me, I think the reason I was like, actually, I want to understand money and how it works in the South African context as soon as possible is because when I asked my parents and I asked my peers and I asked my older managers, everyone seemed to be on a journey of, oh, it takes time, you'll figure it out as you go. But I realized that was also because they also weren't too sure that they knew exactly what they were doing. So no one wants to give a recommendation that bombs in another person's face.
Absolutely.
So I was like, let me just study it. Let me study it. I'm not saying it's 100%, but you understand. And money journey is different for everyone. What works for me might not be necessary for you.
No, that's so true. In our final moments, your subtitle mentions a wealth creation formula. So if you had to explain that formula in like a minute, what are some of the ingredients there?
So it's basically control your lifestyle costs, grow your income streams, invest boldly, and then stay consistent for 10 to 30 years. So with all of those things that you're doing. So even when it comes to controlling your lifestyle costs, I heard you shriek. It's not to say don't enjoy your life, but it's to say with every lifestyle upgrade, make sure it's intentional.
Okay.
Don't just with every salary increase now suddenly your taste gets better and you actually never put any money away for yourself. And we say 10 to 30 years, but rather late than never. It's okay. It's okay. I wrote it with the mind that obviously I'm in my late 20s, so I'm writing it for my peers. However, rather late than never. This applies to my parents. I wouldn't say my grandparents because those people are in retirement. It's time to enjoy it fully.
Yeah.
But yeah, it takes time, and be patient.
No, I believe in good things taking time and one having the patience to wait for it. Thank you so much for the conversation,
Thank you so
Noguhle
much.
Khumalo. Wish you the very best of luck in terms of book sales for this one, and you can follow Noguhle on YouTube at Noguhle Khumalo is her YouTube page, where no doubt she's giving lots of practical day-to-day money advice and guidance. Siwela, thank you so much for the time. Siwela Langeni, co-founder of the Book Circle Capital and author of Making Friends with Feelings. 2:30. Time for us to get into the headline news, and then we'll come back on the other side with our Friday Kids programming by way of Nalibali before we come back and wrap up the show.
Thank you, Bridget. On the news headlines, Deputy Chief Justice Dunstan Mlambo has ruled that Murwadi Chalota's case be remitted to the High Court in the Free State. The National Association of School Governing Bodies in Sidibeng, south of Gauteng, is calling on the provincial government to ensure strict compliance with scholar transport regulations to safeguard learners. And flash flooding is affecting parts of Zimbabwe, Mozambique and South Africa. This has led to food insecurity and widespread relocation among vulnerable communities, with fatalities being reported in these countries. Mozambique has suffered the most. A full update follows at the top of the hour.
Here, there, and everywhere. SAFM 106.2 FM in Table Mountain.
Hello friends and welcome to Nali Bali. Have you ever faced a small problem like losing a pencil, arguing with a friend, or not knowing how to finish a task and wondered what to do? Growing up means learning how to think, choose, and find solutions all by yourself. And the good news is you can start learning these skills right away. When we stop, think, and try to solve our problems, we become more confident and responsible. Maybe you can ask for help. Maybe you can try a new idea, or maybe you can learn from a mistake. Every time you try to find a solution, your mind grows stronger and your heart grows braver. Solving problems doesn't mean you have to know everything. It simply means you try, you think, and you don't give up easily. So let's practice being creative, calm, and clever, because the solutions we learn today will help us tomorrow for the rest of our lives. Today's story is called The Farmer's Road, written by Jason van Rensburg. But before we listen to today's story, let's all get up and... Once upon a time, in a quiet valley far from the busy city, there lived a strong, hard-working farmer. The farmer had a lovely daughter who had grown up and gone away to the city. The farmer missed his daughter terribly, but she could only visit him once a year. The journey between the farm and the city was simply too long and difficult. Between the farm and the city lay a mountain with a narrow, winding road. Then there was a dense forest, and then a wide, deep river that was very dangerous to cross. A journey from the city to the farm would often take 3 days.
If only I could fly like a bird, I could visit you every weekend.
His daughter said sadly during her rare visits. Eventually, the farmer missed his daughter so much, he decided to build a road that would run straight through the mountain, through the forest, and over the river, making the journey between the city and farm much quicker and safer. But as the farmer dug his tunnel through the mountain, an angry bear came running towards him. She was upset by the noise. The bear glared at the farmer.
What's all the noise?
The bear growled. The farmer looked at the bear straight in the eye.
You see, the thing is, I'm building a road to the city so that my daughter can visit me more often, Bear.
He explained. The bear snorted.
Huh. Well, you're making too much noise. Go away before I eat you.
The farmer refused to leave. The bear rose up on their hind legs and roared at the farmer. But instead of running away, the farmer puffed out his chest and roared back at the bear.
Roar! Roar! Take that, you bear! Roar!
Then they wrestled and rolled on the ground until the bear gave up.
Okay. You must really miss your daughter. Here, let me help you dig the tunnel so that you can leave me alone as soon as possible,
said the bear, shaking her head. So the bear and the farmer dug a tunnel through the mountain in half the time. Then it was time to clear the path through the forest. The farmer used the big chainsaw to cut down as many trees as he could. On the third morning in the forest, the farmer came across a herd of deer who were stamping the ground in fear and anger. A huge deer that was the leader of the herd approached the farmer angrily.
Oi! Oi! Stop it this instant! What are you doing? Can't you see the trees are falling and you're scaring the forest creatures away?
The deer yelled, glaring at the farmer. The farmer answered,
Oh no, Mr. Deer, I can't stop. I'm building a road to the city so that my daughter can visit me more often.
The deer snorted and shook his antlers.
Hey, you're ruining our forest.
He snorted loudly and charged the farmer. Another battle broke out as the farmer wrestled with the deer. The deer butted the farmer with his antlers and kicked and bit, but the farmer was too stubborn and eventually the deer gave up.
Hey, fine. Build your road to the city. We will help you to clear the path through the forest so that you can be on your way sooner.
The deer huffed. The deer helped clear a path as the farmer cut down the trees. The bear, who had started to enjoy the work, finally, they reached the river. As the farmer started building a bridge over the river, a group of angry crocodiles swam up to see who was muddying the water.
Excuse me, you're making a big mess right now.
One of the crocodiles snapped angrily. The farmer looked at the crocodiles without fear.
Listen here, Mrs. Crocodile. I'm building a road to the city so that my daughter can visit me more often. I need to build a bridge so that she can cross the river safely.
The crocodiles did not like this one bit.
No, you listen here. There's no need for a bridge. Tell your daughter to swim across the river.
The biggest crocodile grinned. This made the farmer very angry, but he could not wrestle the crocodiles as there were too many. The farmer needed a new plan. Then the deer whispered,
Okay, listen. I have seen how beavers build a wall to dam up a river. So we can use the trees you cut down in the forest to build a big wall between us and the crocodiles. My herd and I will help you because the crocodiles have caught many of our friends when they came to drink at the river.
Soon a huge wall of trees separated the crocodiles from the farmer, the bear, and the herd of deer so that they could build a big bridge across the river. As soon as the bridge was finished, the farmer said to the deer and the bear,
Stand far from the riverbank. Can you see how the wall has made the river rise? I will cause a flood that will get rid of the crocodiles once and for all. It is my way of thanking you for your help, friends.
Then the farmer broke the dam wall. The water rushed through and washed the crocodiles all the way to the sea. The journey from the city to the farm now took only one day, so the farmer's daughter could visit him often. And the farmer had a bear and a herd of deer to keep him company when she was away. And so we come to the end of another Nalibali story time. Today's story was called The Farmer's Road, written by Jason van Rensbeck. Did you know that reading and telling stories to children at home can help them do better at school? If you want free stories to read to your children or for your children to enjoy on their own, visit the Nali Bali site www.nalibali.mobi. You will find stories in 11 South African languages, as well as tips for reading and sharing stories with your children to grow their potential. Also look out for the bilingual Nali Bali Reading for Enjoyment supplement with great children's stories and activities, available in newspapers. Nali Bali, it starts with a story.
SAFM music, crafted to make you feel real good.
As the night moves in,
Handpicked just for your classics sounding so good only on SAFM. SAFM has signed a code of conduct that is enforced by the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Under the code, we are committed to giving news that is accurate, comment that is fair, and programming that is not harmful, does not amount to hate speech, or contain violence or explicit sex. If you think we are not living up to that code, then you can inform the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. Direct any complaints in writing to the Broadcasting Complaints Commission of South Africa. PO Box 142365. Craig Hall 2024. Fax to 011-326-3198 or an email to bccsa@nabsa.co.za. For more information, please visit www.bccsa.co.za.
For 90 years, one voice has informed, challenged, and connected a nation. SAFM, South Africa's national English public radio station. Established in 1936 as the SABC's very first service, the A program evolving through the English service, Radio South Africa, to SAFM in 1995, shaping thought and strengthening democracy. From a full-spectrum station to a trusted home of news and talk, SAFM continues to lead the conversations 90 years strong. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us.
Clientele is here to safeguard you and your family with compassion because life happens. Be part of a family that truly cares. Our funeral dignity plans have helped South Africans bury their loved ones with dignity for more than 30 years. Let us help you create a meaningful tribute that honors your life and those of your loved ones. We pay out within 24 hours and you will get double accident cover with a clientele funeral plan. Our plans are affordable. Pick the option that suits your needs. Easy to apply, no medical examinations and no paperwork. SMS SAFM to 48031. That's 48031. Clientele Life is an authorized FSP and licensed life insurer. T's and C's online. Standard rates apply.
The heavyweights of Algerian football, CRB, are on a real hunt for their second win. Meanwhile, Stellies want to maintain their unbeaten run in Group C to remain on the top. This is the CAF Confederation Cup. CR Belouizdad versus Stellenbosch FC this Sunday, 25 January at 8 p.m. Live on SABC Plus and SABC 1. Also available on SABC radio stations at 9 p.m. Proudly brought to you by SABC Sport.
For the love of the game.
Wherever you are in the world, SAFM 104 to 107 is accessible. We're also streaming live on Facebook, X, and YouTube at SAFM Radio. We acknowledge and appreciate everyone tuning in and watching our streams. Stay with SAFM 104 to 107. as we bring you Commission Live, breaking stories, and thought-provoking lectures. SAFM, leading the conversations that move us. Bridget Masinga is streaming live now on Facebook, YouTube, and X at SAFM Radio.
All right, our final conversation now. With Elsu Geerke, who is the SA Chef's Head of Education. Hashtag for the love of food, and we're looking at Korean cuisine. The Global Korean Food Festival took place this week at the Korean Cultural Center in Pretoria, presented by the Korean Cultural Center in South Africa in collaboration with the South African Chefs Association. How are you doing this afternoon, Elsu?
Hi, Bridget. I'm doing so well. It's Friday, so doing exceptionally well, actually.
I have energy, but I was not expecting that. I am good. Thank you so much for the time. It is indeed a Friday. Let's talk about it. So the South African Chefs Association was a Korean food festival. I have never seen culture and cultural interest take over the world as fast and as intentionally as I've seen Korean culture.
Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't love it? Yesterday, the world lost its mind globally for BTS tickets. And Korean food has become so popular because of Korean dramas, because of the K-wave, that it's something that we all want to experience. And actually, you know, the funny thing about Korean food and South African food is that it's actually a marriage made in heaven. Because we share so much deep respect, such a love of ingredients, deep connection between our culture and our food, in our celebrations, in our families. The same as the Korean food. And our flavors are married together. So it's almost a natural cultural exchange that needed to happen this week.
I mean, the way you put it, it makes perfect sense. So what are the traditional Korean dishes? I must admit, I have a friend who's in K-pop, my bestie. She loves it. She went to Korea last year, had the time of her life. But I'm always rolling my eyes because I'm just like, oh, you're part of the fad. What are the traditional Korean foods and dishes?
So this week, on the first day, the chefs got together, and then we were very fortunate. The South African Chefs Association, together with the KCC, the Korean Culture, were very fortunate to have these incredible visiting chefs from the Hansik Masters Association, which is really just Korean food, or the word for Korean food. And these are master chefs from across the globe that are working in different countries. So, for instance, China and Argentina and Belgium. And they came together in South Africa to teach our chefs how to make the Korean food. So we've got kimchi, which is wonderful, fermented cabbage, but really a fermented vegetable with such deep umami flavors. It warms you from your soul into your heart, into your stomach. And it's eaten as a side dish with anything. And what they also made was bibimbap. And bibimbap is, and I know the word, it literally translates to mixed rice with meat and vegetables.
Oh, okay.
But when you see it, it looks like art. And when you taste it, you are transported because it is actually so wonderfully delicious. And it's soul food. A lot of Korean flavors, like South African flavors, are to mother, to daughter, to son, and they cook it and they eat it together. So those are the two they cooked, which is very, very traditional. And then we were treated on the third day to a wonderful fusion of Korean dishes infused with traditions of these different countries. And even South Africa was represented with Korean flavors infused with our traditional 7 colors and our bunny chow.
Oh.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And It worked like a charm. It's absolutely amazing. I was blown away.
Then I've got to ask you, Elsu, in terms of the key characteristics to Korean food, obviously when we think Japanese food, for instance, we think a lot of sushi, we think, raw fish elements making their way there entangled with rice. When we think of perhaps Asian Indian cuisine, we think the spice trio of coriander, cumin, ginger and garlic, quattro coming to life there. What are the key characteristics of Korean food? What makes for the base ingredients?
So a lot of Korean food, there's a lot of fermentation. There's a lot of fresh vegetables. They are a meat-eating country as well, such as South Africa. I mean, everybody knows Korean barbecue. So you're looking at flavors, deep, smoky, umami flavors that is worked into every dish. They do smoked fish, cured fish, a lot of seafood because they're obviously a peninsula, and then the meat. I mean, Korean beef is famous all over the world. So you're looking at the spice flavors, which is quite spicy, but not as spicy as some of the other Asian countries or India, where you have gochujang, which is a spice paste that they make, that they use in a very famous street food, tteokbokki, and they made it with gnocchi from Italy this week, and it works exceptionally well, because traditionally it's made with fish cakes and rice cakes, but gnocchi works perfectly well. So the basis is very, very deep, very flavorful, very vegetable driven, but also meat driven. So you're literally thinking of what you'll be eating in a stew that you have on a Sunday at home. And we do a lot of stews in South Africa. And it's that meaty, deep, beefy. It's smelling right now.
Yes.
That is what you are smelling in Korean food, with the hint of ginger and garlic and chili and soy, and anchovies with soy, obviously. It gives you that sort of deeper flavor. It's very earthy and it's incredible. It makes me so happy. I'm sitting here, I'm so happy. I want to eat Korean food when I get home.
I mean, listen, as we're talking, I'm about to ask you for a list of maybe 2 spots in Joburg that I could try some Korean food. Is there a growing South African market for Korean flavors? I know, obviously, K-pop and what do they call them? K-soaps or K-stories, K-dramas. K-dramas have all taken over shows. I've probably just watched one. But is there a growing market for Korean flavors? Are we seeing more and more people hunting down Korean restaurants now?
Yes, absolutely. There's also, and I must be honest, I haven't really been, but there is and they're very, very prevalent on Instagram. It's Market Kokoro, which is, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right, which has got branches across the country. And they stock a lot of Korean food, and especially like ramen. Ramen is a big thing in Korea. It's a convenient food. It's what you eat at night. You cook it in broth. There is flavors galore there, and I'm not punching them. I've actually never even been, so this is not a paid-for advertisement. And then there's a restaurant in Johannesburg that I'm also threatening to go to, Banchan,
yes.
which is Banchan is I think in Rivonia in Johannesburg, and it's the name of the side dishes. Korean food gets served with side dishes, and banchan is the word for those side dishes. Which kimchi would be a side dish. Korean food, like our 7 colors, like the way we as South Africans eat. We have a main dish or main with lots of little extras that we put on our rice or our pop or our and that's exactly the basis of this. So there is a growing trend, and I'm hoping to see more. I'm hoping to see Korean takeaways where we can just order it from Uber Eats.
Okay.
And there are places, and I stand corrected, but not close to where I stay.
Oh, no, listen, I am definitely going to try banchan. As you were talking, I was Googling them and they came up. So I think I'm going to pop in there over the weekend and finally get into my Korean fad. Elsu Khereke, thank you so much for the time. SA Chef's Head of Education, tantalizing our taste buds there ahead of the weekend with that Korean cuisine menu. And of course, the Global Korean Food Festival took place this past weekend and South Africa held in South Africa. You can find me on social media at Bridget Masinga on X, formerly known as Twitter, as well as Instagram. If you've tried Korean food and you've got a favorite restaurant that you think I need to try that will give me a good experience, I'm more than open to do it. I'm a secret foodie after all. That is where we leave it for this afternoon from our end. Those proceedings in East London still happening. Some of the chatter on social media is that the judge is probably likely to not deliver her verdict today and come back next week or perhaps in a few weeks' time to deliver that verdict after taking in considerations of some of the witnesses that gave their expert opinions on the matter. Have yourselves a great weekend and we will see you next week Monday. Inshallah, God willing, we get to do it again.
SAFM 104.3 FM in Rustenburg.
No question that Julius Malema, centre of the news cycle today. And let me tell you, SAFM News with momentum. Those with financial advisors have a better shot at generational wealth. Speak to a Momentum accredited financial advisor for advice that meets your context. Here's the news at 3 with Ondela Mbana.
Thank you, Ashraf. On the top stories, Ekurhuleni Mayor denies links to auditor's death, and Chalota addresses media following Concord ruling. For SFM News, I am Ondela Mbana, and a very good afternoon. City of Ekurhuleni Mayor, former Chief Auditor Mpho Mafule. The mayor briefed the media in Germiston following media reports that he attempted to interfere in investigations into wrongdoings in the municipality. Mafule was shot and killed in Kempton Park in June last year, days after submitting a report detailing multi-million tender irregularities in the Metro municipality. Xhakaza insists he's never interfered with or influenced any investigation.
Let me be direct that I reject the insinuation and any suggestion that I have interfered with, influenced or sought to derail any investigation in the strongest possible terms as a law-abiding citizen, but most importantly, as a leader in the city, as a person who's committed to deal with the wrath, and I've demonstrated that I've been at the forefront of actively dealing decisively with some of the wrath. I view this as a serious matters that require a thorough investigation.
The city of Ekurhuleni has dismissed allegations that the water supply in Tsakani, Duduza, Langaville and Guatema has been poisoned. Claims have been circulating on social media about the quality of water in these areas. City spokesperson Zweli Dlamini says water is tested on a daily basis and has confirmed that it is safe and fully compliant with national drinking water standards.
There is no problem with the water in the city of Ekurhuleni. People can continue consuming our water. It still remains among the best in the country. So whoever is actually sending out these false allegations and voice notes, which we've picked up in the social media space, is actually being a person who does not take the feelings of our people very seriously. And we strongly condemn that.
The former personal assistant of Ace Makhashule, Muruadi Cholota, says that the asbestos trial is an opportunity for the truth to come out. Cholota spoke to the media today after the Constitutional Court affirmed that her extradition from the U.S. was unlawful. Cholota was extradited from the U.S. in 2024 to face corruption and money laundering charges linked to the Free State asbestos case. She says that the state humiliated her during her extradition.
I think the nation also watched as I was taken away from my university where I was studying, unlawfully brought to this country, chained and accompanied by countless men with guns, and this after I had to spend still time in jail. As you've all watched, I was brought into court shackled, which is something that none of my former accused went through. I was paraded before TV cameras and humiliated before the nations. The state fought for me to be jailed pending this trial.
The National Association of School Governing Bodies in Sidibeng, south of Gauteng, is calling on the provincial government to ensure strict compliance with scholar transport regulations. The association's regional secretary, Thabiso Khadebe, has been speaking at the memorial service for the 14 pupils who died in a scholar transport minibus taxi collision on Monday. Speaking in Sebokeng, Khadebe says learner safety must be safeguarded.
Always keep raising this issue very sharp to demand that the department must take a serious action to make sure that our learners, they become safe as they are being delivered from their homes to their schools. You know, this is a very terrible accident. So we are saying condolences to all the affected families, all the schools and the entire community of Sidibeng.